Hey everybody, this is NCSO7 here, and welcome back to another video. So today, I finally, well not today, but wow, earlier this past month, April, I finally got around to playing Bugsnax, and not only finishing it, but 100%ing it, platinuming it, and oh boy, it is a game, alright. So I wanted to make a review about it because it was the last PlayStation 5 game that I failed to finish. Yeah, let's just jump right into it. Now, I don't know where to start with this game because I'm just going to say it right now, right off the bat, this game is weird. You're just going to have to accept it for what it is. So, I guess let's start with the presentation now. The presentation for this game is very unlike anything that I've really ever seen, and I'm probably unlike anything that anyone else has ever seen. It's basically this game where you're on this island, and there's these other things called the Wumpuses, I think that's what they're called, or Grumpuses, never mind, that wander around and inhabit the island. And essentially, there's these other creatures called Bugsnax, and essentially, you can feed the Grumpuses Bugsnax, and they can actually transform into, there's like limbs and all that stuff, into other objects. So let's say like you get a Bugsnax that looks kind of like a cheeseburger. Then you can actually feed it to one of the Grumpuses, and you can choose their arm. Then their arm will become like a cheeseburger. It's really weird. You'll see it later in this video too, how weird it is. But you can essentially change like their design just like that. It is absolutely weird. It's absolutely freaky, and I love it for that. And of course, I can't talk about this game without talking about the visuals. This game is just simply beautiful to look at. The environments are all really nice. It's a first-person game, so there's a lot of attention to detail. Even though everything's cartoony, it still just looks so good. And performance-wise, the game is really good. Now, I did play this on PS5, so I don't know what it's like on the other versions, but it ran at solid 1080p, 60 FPS. Nothing to really say. So now going to the story. Now, basically, you're this reporter that wants to interview this one Grumpus called Lizbird, I think. And you essentially have to go to this island, but eventually your helicopter or whatever thing gets crashed down, and you get stranded on the island with all the other Grumpuses. And essentially, you have to do what the Grumpuses want, so that way you can make your way to Lizbird to interrogate her, ask her questions. That's pretty much the most of the story in a nutshell for at least the main stuff. However, there is a good amount of lore for the game as well, like about each Grumpus and like their desires and what they want, who they like and who they hate. It's really cool. So there's definitely a lot of lore. So if you want to uncover like every secret about the characters, you can do that. I love it when games do this. I just want to say it right now, I love it when games do this. So story-wise, this game isn't anything super deep, but it is really good regardless for what it is. And now the gameplay. Now, I don't know how to really describe this game's gameplay type. Like, with other games, I can state, oh, they're like a shooter game, or it's a platformer game, or it's an RPG. I legitimately really don't know what to say. Call this kind of game. It's similar to Pokemon Snap in a way, but it's also a first-person adventure and like a bunch of other things. It's just really weird, but I'll try and explain it to the best I can. Essentially, you catch Bugsnax. That's basically the game. Now, Bugsnax, all the Bugsnax, all 100 of them, do have different ways of catching them. So you essentially use a variety of devices to help you catch them. There's stuff like the snack trap, which basically will catch any of the, mostly the smaller snacks, Bugsnax. You also have like a launch pad that can launch things into the air. This can be really useful for catching the Bugsnax that fly in the air. Very helpful there. You can also use a trip shot on certain Bugsnax. Like say one has fire, you can actually use a trip shot for like, and put ice on it so that way the fire Bugsnax will actually be melted so you can catch it. There's a lot of stuff to it. It's honestly not super hard though, and it's never really that hard. But I will say, it is a lot of fun. Honestly, though, I will say, though, there is one thing I will say about this, though, and it is the fact that while I do like the idea of collecting Bugsnax, that's what the name of the game is, it is a very fetch quest filled game. Like, most of this game is basically bring me this Bugsnax and feed it to me. That's pretty much most of the quests. So, if you don't like fetch quests, I'm kind of sorry. There's really not much other than that. Granted, there are some parts of the game that aren't fetch quests, but not very common. Also, and this is my actual one genuine complaint about this game. The one thing I will say about this game that I don't like, the fact that you cannot fast travel. I don't like this for like 2 reasons. One, the first of all, the PlayStation 5 has an SSD that's super fast. So, like, you could show how good the fast travel actually is and how fast it is so that actually you can move around. And 2, it can take a long time. Let's say if you're filling out the rest of the like Bugsnax and catching all of them, you go to like the scorching like sands or whatever it is, but then you want to go all the way to like the mountainy area. But then you have to go through the Scorched Gorge, and then through the Snacksburg, and then through like the camp area. It's like, sometimes it's just kind of annoying because you have to take these long treks to get to your destinations. And there really aren't that many secret passageways either. There is one in the game that does connect the like one desert area to the Bay area, which is cool, but from what I know, that's the only one that's there and no other ones. So, I kind of wish that there was actually fast travel in the game. It is a thing I do have a bit of an annoyance with, but it's not a really big deal. It's just a minor annoyance. And control-wise, the game controls completely fine. Haptic feedback is used quite a bit within the game, especially when you can like hear the Bugsnax say something when you catch them. It's really good. Not much to say there. Now, content-wise. Now, this game used to be free on PlayStation Plus. However, now it's $25, at least when I bought it. And do I think it's worth $25? Maybe. Honestly, if you were going to simply beat the game, I would say maybe 10 hours, which isn't a lot. Don't get me wrong, it's not a bad length for the game at all. But I'll be honest, I don't know if I'd want to pay $25 for just like 10 hours of content. Now, if you go for the platinum, which I'll just say it right now, go for the platinum, then it'd be more like 20 hours, give or take, depending on how quickly you can get through the game. It could be 15 hours, but you never know. But honestly though, I really don't have much to say. The game's amount of content is perfectly fine. I will admit though, once you do 100% everything, there really isn't much else to do in the game. There's not really any mini games or anything like that you can do, which is kind of a missed opportunity, but it's not really that big of a deal. Honestly though, the game is easily worth $25. Because not just because of content, but because the game is so weird. It's such a unique game. But I'll get in that in a little bit. But for now, the soundtrack. Soundtrack is pretty solid, all things considered. It isn't great, but it's pretty good. Not much else to say. So now on to the final thoughts. Honestly, this is one of the most unique games I've played. Now, do I think the game is perfect? Good lord, no. Honestly, I'll just mention my main criticisms. Fast travel should have been in the game, and the game does have quite a bunch of fetch quests. Though to be fair, that last one is more than likely intentional, given the fact that this is a game about collecting Bugsnax. Overall, it is a great game. However, if you are going to be getting a PlayStation 5 in the future, wait until you get a PlayStation 5 to get this game. Don't buy it on PS4. Play it on PlayStation 5. Unless you're not a PlayStation person and just a PC person, in which case you could play that version. But for the love of God, do not play the PS4 version. Just play the PS5 version, because now you've got one really weird game on your PlayStation 5. It is absolutely worth it. And I don't really think I have much else to say. So on my scale of 0 to 10, I give Bugsnax a solid 8 out of 10. This game is really unique, though it does have some drawbacks, but it is absolutely highly recommended by me. Absolutely play it if you can. But those are my thoughts. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want to hear more stuff about weird games like this, then like this video then. It's greatly appreciated. But with that being said, this is NCSO7 signing out. Peace.